We need a White House conference to develop a comprehensive plan that will address all aspects of hunger in America, and especially child hunger. And schools play a vital role in that. Stephen Ritz, who I also had the pleasure of visiting in person, is the founder of the Green Bronx Machine. He's responsible for creating the first edible classroom in the world, and he and his students have grown more than 130,000 pounds of vegetables. The Green Bronx Machine builds healthy, equitable, and resilient communities through inspired education, local food system, and 21st century workforce development.
Thank you, Chairman Jim, and distinguished members of the committee. And thank you all for your commitment to taking bold action to end hunger, especially within public schools. The opportunity to speak here today is a bright sign of progress, hope for a better tomorrow, and truly an honor. So my name is Stephen Ritz. I'm the founder of Green Bronx Machine. I'm CEO, the chief eternal optimist of Bronx County, the New York City Food Policy Center COVID food hero. I'm an American who tells the truth. I'm also a teacher, a parent, a husband, a father, a son, and a brother, and a former athlete who once swelled to over 300 pounds simply by eating the food that was available in my community. Today, I'm proud to face and interact with a generation of students who have never seen me consume a sugar-sweetened beverage. They've never seen me with a soda in my hand. And, you know, here in the Bronx, we're determined to grow something greater. I believe the greatest lever this nation has for equity and ending poverty are successful public schools. Communities like mine across our entire nation are not only under-resourced, we're over-extracted. And communities like mine, children are the canaries and the schools are the coal mine. Every societal issue manifests itself right here. And let's be clear, my experience had led me to one critical belief. The most important school supply in the world is food. Children can't learn if they're hungry. They can't learn if they're hopped up or hopped down on sugar. And children will never be well read if they are not well fed. Let me be clear. Food is the language through which society reveals itself. Who has access to what, where, when, and how determines everything. And food justice is racial justice. Green Bronx Machine is a locally based school organization that is spreading across the country. And I like to say, we grow vegetables all year long. We grow vegetables, our vegetables grow students, our students grow schools, and our schools grow communities. Green Bronx Machine is the first organization in the nation to grow in school enough food to routinely feed 450 students a healthy meal. And we do it all year long. At the heart of our work is an award-winning curriculum designed to be disruptive. We use safe, child-friendly indoor academic learning gardens that can feed an entire class and are assembled in under 40 minutes if you take it out of the box, and in under 15 if you read the directions and watch the video. The fact is that we can grow copious amounts of food in schools is evidenced by the fact that this technology is being used today by 7,500 schools. Our schools have moved from underperforming to outperforming their peer equivalents by using curriculum, by putting food and nutrition at the heart of all learning. Our model is inclusive, it's flexible. We've specialized in working with overage, undercredited youth, foster care youth, adjudicated youth. It's a whole school model. I'm proud to say we built the first ADA accessible commercial farm in America, and also the first commercial run farm by foster care youth in the heart of Appalachia. Using the lens of food production, community development, health and wellness, we connect education to opportunities. And here in the poorest congressional district in America, with some of the highest unemployment and chronic underemployment, we've partnered towards 2,200 living wage jobs. So what have we seen? We are seeing that children are getting sicker and fatter. We're seeing that the onset of puberty is happening at an earlier and earlier age, often for girls in communities with meat and dairy intense diets in second grade. Our children are becoming increasingly disconnected from food. They're obsessed with the celebritization of it. The marketing of fast food, highly processed food is increasingly aimed at children, and in particular, low-income and marginalized communities. Fast food opportunities are experiencing double-digit growth in communities like ours, decimating local economies. COVID has created epic food insecurity as well as obesity problems. And obesity is now often the face of hunger. What have we learned? According to the CDC, the best way to build your immunity is via the consumption of fresh fruits and vegetables. Children who are exposed to nature and the natural world develop healthier immune systems. According to the USDA, children with a salad bar eat 43% more fresh fruits and vegetables. And at our school, we've had a 93% success rate using the USDA fresh fruit and vegetable program to replace what I call crack, calorie-rich and processed food, and mess, manufactured edible synthetic substances and snacks. Salad parties work. Children who grow vegetables encourage their parents to eat them. Nutrition-based and garden-based education serves the critical lens of entry. Look at our school. Look at this classroom. This is where learning happens. Indoor agriculture, controlled environmental agriculture, fresh food and casual food represent some of the biggest growth sectors in our economy. It is essential to cultivate this work as soon as possible. Every school needs an indoor academic learning garden and a salad bar. Every school needs to serve fresh fruit and vegetables. Simply put, in my time here today, if I could convince all of you and convince every school to teach children how to grow their own food, cook their own food, consume less crap, and care about themselves and the planet, we'd be living in a far less complicated, much healthier world. Green Bronx Machine is here to help. Today, we're here not asking for a handout, but asking for a handshake and urging all of you to walk with me and work with me so together we can grow something greater. My biggest push is that supporting the Green New Deal for public schools, inviting students to imagine a society based on principles of ecology and social equality. It is critical for everyone to understand that the brutal inequality in our nation mostly affects those who are least responsible for it. And this work happens in classrooms. Schools have a critical role to play in creating new realities and new alternatives to the problems we are facing daily. Understanding food and health is critical. Food justice is racial justice. And that former school principal, now Congressman Jamal Bowman, championing HR 109, speaks to hero educators and activists and parents is the challenge before us. Let us come together to support him and this challenge. In closing, under this hat is a lot of responsibility. And Chairman Jim, he's come and he's worn this hat with our children in the Bronx. And today, to each and every one of you listening, I pass this hat to you. It's your turn. I thank this committee for its leadership, open-mindedness, and willingness to address our nation's problems. As a nation, we absolutely have the ability and resources to end hunger and malnutrition today. The question is, do we have the collective appetite? It's time for decisive leadership and bipartisan commitment. We need not lose one more child to poverty, not one more generation to disease or disease. This is the battle cry that I urge all of us to get together and rally behind as a nation. No child should go to bed hungry at night. My dear friend Joel Mackauer talks about a virtuous cycle, one that radiates health, happiness, possibilities, and equity outwards. And I have spent my entire career working and advocating for children who are born into situations that most people would not want to be caught dead in. I fight for children whose monsters are real, who don't get dinner and never get dessert. I fight for children who don't have rooms to clean up, have never seen a dentist, often go to bed hungry and cry themselves to sleep. These are children who aren't spoiled by anything or anybody. It all starts with food, and it all starts with public education. This is the work we must do. Do we have the collective appetite? Are we ready to do the work? How can we afford not to? It's no longer birthplace that determines outcome. It's breakfast, like Mayor Eric Adams says. It's no longer lineage. It's lunch. and it will no longer be our DNA, but our dinner. The eyes of the future are looking back at us. They demand that we get this right. Don't waste me. Don't waste us. And don't waste this moment. If not us, who? If not now, when? I'm always available for your service, and I remain a call, text message, email, or classroom visit away. Thank you for your time, and let us end hunger now. Thank you.
Well, thank you very, very much. We're working on legislation now, the Build Back Better bill that I hope we will be able to move forward. There's $500 million in that bill for kitchen infrastructure for our schools. I mean, I've got schools in my district that don't have kitchens. So a lot of the stuff that we want to talk about here, like scratch cooking, you can't do, right? I mean, unless you do it off-site. We had to make sure that schools are equipped to do this.
So while we were convening, I was doing the math, and I couldn't agree more with Chef Ann. 500 million is a great start, and there are 100,000 schools. So what can we do? Well, I did the math. Number one, we can put an indoor garden in every single school in America. We can do that with the math. Number two, we can put a classroom kitchen, a mobile classroom teaching kitchen in every single school. Basically, a food truck that is portable, plug and play, requires no infrastructure, and we can put one of those in every single school. We can get all of Chef Ann's recipes on board. We can involve whole school curriculum. In my testimony, and I urge you to read it, I cited about 3 pages of data that really shows that if you give children the opportunity to grow good food, they eat good food. They really do. Children who grow kale, eat kale. But the little ones, and I really want to call it Ronaldo for really, my oversight in this work. My work started with overage, undercredited children, children in foster care, special needs kids. But when you start with those little ones, you don't go from seed to harvest without cultivation in the middle. And that cultivation of food in a classroom, of color acquisition, of ordinal directions, of patience, of nurturing, of understanding that we are all part of one living, breathing ecosystem changes everything. So I think we have the ability to do this. I urge everyone to continue doing this. And, this is not, I don't want to say goodbye to anybody here, but rather see you soon, read the testimony, and let's work together to make EPIC happen.
Food enables our children to learn. Food is also love, and food is also respect. I mean, when I was visiting Mr. Ritz's school in New York, and he brought some apples into a classroom, I mean, these kids felt like $1 million. I mean, it was unbelievable. And you can tell, right? You can tell that when kids feel appreciated, when kids feel respected. And I think food is a big part of this. We also have to make sure that the food that we're providing is culturally sensitive as well. We live in a very diverse country, and we want to make sure that that's part of the discussion as well. But Mr. Ritz, some people will hear about how much produce you're growing in the Bronx and kind of balk and say, like, how is that possible? And recently you mentioned that you worked on a project in West Virginia related to foster youth. And can you tell us how the model you use in the Bronx can work in places like West Virginia and other places around the country? Because obviously every area is different. And I want to make sure that when we talk about the project in West Virginia, that we're sending that information to Senator Manchin, because we need Senator Manchin and we need Senator Sinema from Arizona to support the Build Back Better bill, so that we can actually provide the money that we're talking about for school infrastructure. But I will yield to Mr. Ritz.
Thank you. Simply put, our project in Appalachia at Stepping Stones is one of the most remarkable projects that we've ever undertaken. To think that we can go in the heart of coal country from an extraction economy to an absolutely production-based economy really speaks to what is possible in the Build Back Better bill. Remarkably, we're using the very technology that we use here. We grow tons of food in school with children. That's about 7 days. We have classrooms full of these. there's my wife. You could say hello to her. But, all across America, we have classrooms like these. And the whole idea about this technology is that it is portable, it is lightweight, and it is all year round and puts the garden inside of a classroom, regardless of seasonality, using things that are really important to children. 90% less water and 90% less space. Now, moving back to our wonderful young people at Stepping Stones in Appalachia, the trauma that these young people have faced, losing their parents to opioid addiction, to really, so many food-related issues that all of you have touched on, because these children have bounced from place to place to place to place, to site to site to site, not even knowing what food is. To be able to be in a glorious greenhouse in the middle of the mountains, growing food all year round, really becomes a model of personal therapy, horticultural therapy, trauma and stress reduction, mindfulness. So many of these young people have food-related challenges, whether it's obesity, even the onset of diabetes and coronary disease at a young age because of what they've been eating. That learning to grow food is absolutely remarkable. Now, what's the cool thing about it? Well, they're actually selling the food. They're actually creating add value products. They're actually becoming aware of careers. And let me shout out, so many of the wonderful new controlled environmental agricultural organizations and corporations that are making money. And when you think about the greatest way to nourish people and save our planet, it really has to do with this: indoor agriculture, using 90% less water and 90% less space year round. But when you put children around plants, they're amazing, because the children love to take care of them. They grow their plants and heal themselves. So I couldn't be more proud. We're actually building remarkably the first eco village in the heart of Appalachia with 10 tiny homes, because what do we know? The children who graduate out of foster care, the minute they graduate, they're dropped off at the homeless shelter and given a Medicaid card and said, good luck. So at the end of this, what we're doing is providing them tiny homes at this eco village where people can come and live and work and visit and get involved. We're sending a message of hope outwards. We're actually putting prisoners to work who want to actively help build these homes while being incarcerated, working towards exiting the incarceration system. And the best thing is these homes are being designed by high school students for fellow peers, a complete virtuous circle. And to me, that's what green business is all about.
I will yield to you to close at this point.
Let's be clear. Food justice is racial justice. And here in the poorest congressional district in America, in our humble corner, we're looking to change that. Because if not, we will die. And we will die slowly and painfully. And, the collective work here is amazing, and it speaks to one truth, and that truth is that no child rises to low expectations. Zip code and skin color should not determine outcomes in life. Education and access to healthy food should. Now, Chef Ann said it best. No one can do everything, but everyone can do something. And we don't have to be great in order to start, but you have to start in order to be great. Chairman Jim, I thank you for your courage, because this work does require courage. And the opposite of courage is not cowardice. The opposite of courage is conformity, because even a dead fish can go with the flow. And we are not dead fish. We are swimming. And the degree to which we resist injustice is the degree to which we are free. No child should go to bed hungry in America, and we can end hunger tomorrow. If not us, who? If not now, when? Let us come together and solve this problem. We can do this. Make epic happen. You heard?